So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So what I have here again is the 2024 Ford Territory Titanium X. So you're wondering, why am I reviewing a Ford Territory again? Well, I just come to realize I never properly toured the X top of the line model since I just keep walk around tour the base titanium model even at the Manila International Auto Show. So a lot of you complained that it was a bit of a rush project. So apologies, I completely understand your comments. So finally here again, I'm going to review this Ford Territory Titanium X. So the front fascia here is exactly the same like that of the base model. Your ground clearance is still the same at 190 millimeters. So the only changes you can tell here from the exterior from the base model is the panoramic sunroof over here, and you get 19-inch wheels compared to the 18s of the titanium model. So powering this thing is still exactly the same. It's a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that produces 160 horsepower and 248 newton meters of torque. And as well, the new Territories now are mated to a 7-speed wet type dual clutch transmission. So on the side profile as well, like what I said in the base model review, it looks more modern, more muscular. And then the rear too, so it looks exactly the same, apart from you get the Titanium X badge now at the rear. And again, on the left side, you have my favorite EcoBoost badge. So another big difference too between this X and the base model Titanium, this has an electronic tailgate, and as well the space is exactly the same. So with all of the seats up, you have 448 liters, and when you finally fold all the seats down, you have 1,422 liters. I never even gave figures in the walk around reviews. So that's about it with the exterior and the engine of the boot of this Territory. So let's talk about more changes here in the interior. So here now in the interior of the Territory Titanium X. So visually here in the interior, yes, there's a lot more changes than usual. So there's a lot of more white materials here and there, even here on the ceiling. And remember, you have a panoramic sunroof. Your controls are just in front over here. So as well, this Territory Titanium X is dominated by two 12.3-inch screens. So you have one here for your instrument cluster, and then here for your infotainment system, complete with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, reverse camera and 360-degree camera. Like what I said before, it is excellent throughout. So that's what I like to with the base model. There are only some features that have been removed. At least they kept some of the important bits from this Titanium X, like yet again the 360-degree camera. So steering wheel exactly the same. You have your cruise controls on the left side, volume controls and infotainment functions here on the right side. So the steering wheel feels light as usual. So new too with this Territory Titanium X is have your rotary shift knob. So remember, there is no officially manual mode here sadly, but again, at least you have a lot of buttons here, yet again for your infotainment system and some parking functions over here. And then further in front, you have your touch sensitive air conditioning controls, and below a wireless charging pad here, two cup holders. And then further behind, you have a center console box with a tray. It's movable too. Okay, there's a lot of space. So underneath, you have an extra storage space with the 12-volt socket, a one USB-C port, one USB port. And then two big difference between this and the base model are the seats over here. So this one now is completely leather. It's two-tone black and white. And yet again, like in the test drive that I did with the Titanium walk around review, yeah, the seats here are a little bit more sporty since this one's leather. So yeah, here on the door card too, continues the black leather with the wooden trim and the white material down below. So another thing too, this has a button for your electronic tailgate. And then yeah, that's pretty much here since I've driven this at the Manila International Auto Show and the last time I reviewed the Titanium base model. So there too in the back, same story with the seats, is two-tone black and white yet again. And then here in the center, you have two air conditioning vents and a USB port. So like with both models too, they are equipped with a central armrest. And like before too, space in the back is also among one of the best now, despite having this, the sunroof now is just as good as the base model. So this is one of the more spacious compact crossovers in its class too. So without further ado, and then why not, let's have a test drive yet again. So here we go again, driving the Ford Territory Titanium X. It's just so good to drive this again. I mean, I've driven a lot more competitors now in this class of compact crossovers, and I gotta say, I still see why this is one of the more popular choices of crossovers. I mean, this being to the top of the line model, it's one of the more complete crossovers. It's got literally everything, all the features you need here and there. And yeah, just only a nitpick of mine, just like what I said to before, there's no paddle shifters for the manual mode, the L mode over here. But yet again, I don't mind it, since actually I praised a lot with the 7-speed DCT, because surprisingly, it's not jerky. That's a common characteristic with wet type dual clutch transmissions. They don't lurch forward and backward suddenly like here. Stop and go traffic. There's pretty responsive too. That's what I like. So even though a lot of people say this Territory Titanium X leans more to the comfort side of things, but I have to say, driving again what I said, a lot of its competitors now, this one seems to be the best balance of between comfort and sporty driving. I'm very surprised with this Titanium X. So as well, let's not forget, this is 264,000 pesos more than the base model Titanium. So this one stands at 1,599,000 pesos. So I gotta say, yes, it may be a little bit steep compared with this competition only. However, I would say it's the best bang for the buck compact crossover, hands down. And as well, comparing to from before, the older Ford Territory, yeah, I kind of prefer this dual clutch transmission over the previous generation CVT. I mean, make no mistake, the previous gen CVT is very, very good, but there's something a little bit better that I prefer with this dual clutch transmission. And as well, going over very rough pavement and then uneven surfaces, this is very, very comfortable. So as well too, one of the most comfortable cars in its class too. And here, just around Pasong Tamon, there's a lot of potholes here and there. Look, very good throughout. And two, driving this just around, I'm very impressed too with the NVH. Yes, you can hear a little bit of suspension thud here and there, but then again, it's not so bad. And two, look, just slowly mashing the throttle here and there, and you don't feel the lurch of the dual clutch transmission. So yet again, driving dynamics, as I said, it's very good too. And then overtaking will be easy, as like what I said too, this 7-speed dual clutch transmission is much more responsive than the CVT. And let's not forget to, compared with the previous generation's engine, this one is much, much more powerful. So remember, this has 4 modes: normal, eco, and sport mode. And don't forget mountain mode. So no idea why you need mountain mode, since this being only front wheel drive only. Then here, let's try sport mode. Yeah, that's so good, the performance. And two, the brakes are, I have to say, a bit sharper than the previous generation. So I don't know why I tend to notice these things now compared to the last time I drove this specific Titanium X. In sport mode, the steering weight's a little bit only, but it's still very, very light to use. And then let's try eco mode. Yeah. Okay, eco mode, yeah, will be the lightest among the driving modes, but then again, it's still not too bad. So let's put in normal, so because that will be the most used setting. Right, normal mode, pretty good too, surprisingly. And then here, corner. Okay, not much body lean, so not to my surprise. The handling's pretty good too. So yet again, in between eco and normal, the steering wheel is not too light for my liking, so there's still enough feedback. You all know me, I'm a power steering kind of guy. Oh yeah, here too, sport mode. Just stop and then there's a little bit of a delay moving forward, but then again, it counters the lurching forward of the dual clutch transmission. So yet again, I have nothing to complain about with this DCT of this Ford Territory. So fuel economy too could be more or less the same like with the previous generation, depending on how you drive it only. But for now, this one's been doing the same like what I've been doing last time, so around 7 to 8 kilometers per liter, which is not too bad for this kind of car because this one's huge and got a lot of power too. So yeah, that's a quick review of this Territory Titanium X and test drives of the titanium base model coming soon too. So I'm very excited on how will that drive, but I gotta say, I think it will be more or less the same. So anyways, I will still do a content for that. So I'd like to thank everyone here at Ford Makati, to Miss Sharon and to Mrs. Lee for making this review possible. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more Ford reviews coming right up. Bye bye.